Hello and welcome to 4-6. Today we're going to be talking about a new problem-solving technique, and it's called solve a simpler problem. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be looking at a tricky problem that has maybe a couple problems within it, that if we solve the simpler problem, then it's going to allow us to solve the overarching question. So let's get started on that. Here we go. Miguel earns $50 each week and spends $10 each week. He saves the remaining amount. How many weeks will it take until he has saved more than $300? So the first question when we always ask ourselves whenever we get a problem-solving question is, what facts do I know? What part of this do I need to know in order to be able to solve the question? So I know that Miguel earns $50 each week, but he spends $10 of it. Okay. I would also say we need to know that he saves the remaining amount. Sorry, I'm really trying to do good handwriting, but it's hard with a stylus. So we know that he saves the remaining amount. That's important for us to know too. So anyways, I need to find how long it will take Miguel to save $300. So that's always a thing too, because sometimes they give you so much information that when it comes to actually answering the question, you don't know what the final question even is. So it's good to stop and say, okay, what do I know and what do I need to find? Every single time you get a problem-solving question. All right, so we're going to solve a simpler problem. So first I'm going to find out how much does he actually save each week. Okay, so Miguel saves 50, he gets 50, spends 10, so that means each week he's going to be saving $40. Okay, that's our simpler problem right there. Like, we need to know how much does he save each week, so let's figure it out. 50 minus 10 will tell us how much he saves. So then I'm going to divide 300 divided by 40. Okay, and I'm noticing if I try to do 30 divided by 40, I can't. So I have to do 300 divided by 40. So I'd say how many 4s go into 30, and that's 7. And then I'm going to subtract 280 and have 20 left over. So it will take him 7, wow, let's see that. It will take him 7 weeks, but he'll still have $20 left to save. So really, how many weeks is he going to need to save? So don't tell me 7 weeks, because if he saves for 7 weeks, he still has $20 left. So he did not save $400 or $300 in 7 weeks. He saved $280 in 7 weeks. So I need to round up. This is kind of our interpreting the remainder. He didn't save enough, so I need to round up to the next whole number, so he needs to save for at least 8 weeks. Okay, so I need to see, is my answer reasonable? So I'm going to check, what is $40 times 8? 8 times 4 is 32. And then I have my 0 I need to add in there, because I'm multiplying by 40, not just 8 times 4. So after 8 weeks, he will have saved 320. And 320 is greater than 300, so now he will have saved at least $300. Okay, now that's a lot of thinking there. Okay, so a lot of times we figured out our simpler problem, we're just going to divide. But we always need to be interpreting that remainder, especially when it's a word problem. So we need to ask ourselves, what does that actually mean, 7 remainder 20? That 20 in this case means he did not save $300. He has $20 left to save, so we need to tack on another week. So instead of 7 weeks, he needs to do 8 weeks. Okay, let's try another one. All right, this one says, Melissa estimates that she watched 104 movies over the past year. On average, about how many movies does she watch per month? Hint, 1 year is 52 weeks. So what do I need to know? She watched 104 movies per year is what I need to know. Okay, and the question says, how many movies per month? Okay, so our plan is to solve a simpler problem. Okay, so I guess first here, we need to figure out how many weeks are in a month, right? So if I have 52 weeks in a year, that doesn't tell me how many weeks in a month. So I don't really need to take 104 and divide it by 52. I first need to figure out how many weeks are in a month, or really how many months are in a year. So that's kind of misleading. I wonder why they told us weeks. Because we know that there's 12 months per year. Interesting. So anyways, so I'm noticing that I need to do 104, and I need to divide that by 12 months in a year. So when I'm looking at the teacher's guide, they actually do have you divide it by weeks and then multiply by 4. But the question I have is, why would we divide by 52 weeks and then multiply that by 4 weeks in a month instead of just dividing it by 12? I don't know. I say this is the easier way, so let's do it the easier way. Okay, so 12 cannot go into 1, cannot go into 10, but it can go into 104. So I'm going to use estimating to find my quotient, okay? So I'm going to say 12 is about 10, and I know that in order for 10 to get into 100, I have to multiply by 10, but I'm going to see that that's not going to work because 10 12s are worth 120. Okay, so let's see. If I have 120 and I take away 12, I am left with 108, which is too big. So I can't do 10. I tried 9. That's not going to work. So that means I should try 8. Yes, try 8. Okay. So 12 times 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 1 more is 9. So I get 96. Okay, and if I subtract that, I would get 14 minus 6 is 8. 9 minus 9 is 0, so I have 8 left over. Okay, so the question is about how many movies does she watch per month? I would say she watches about 8 movies per month. So 8 movies is our final answer. How do I need to interpret that remainder? I would say we're going to drop it. She watches about 8 movies. Okay, in this case, do we need to know? She watches 8 movies per month, and then there's 8 left over. So it's really between 8 and 9. No, in this case, it really doesn't matter. Okay, we know that she watches about 8. So we need to say, is that answer reasonable? Okay, so we're going to check so we were going to guess 10. If I were to do this, I would guess 10, because I'd say 12 is about 10, 104 is about 100. How many 10s are going to fit? So my estimate, I would say, is 10 times 10 equals 100. Or really, I would probably do 100 divided by 10 equals 10. Okay, so I would guess about 10 movies. And so is 8 close to 10? Yes. That would be my check that I'm going to do there. So anyways, if you can outsmart the question and they tell you weeks and you say, why are you telling me weeks when the question wants me to do per month and you just do months, then there really isn't a simpler problem to answer. So that's that. We're going to look for, when we're reading our problems tomorrow, we're going to look for simpler problems that I need to solve first. That will help me solve the overarching question. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow.